First, let's pay homage to the lineage gurus. Homage to the Venerable Monk Liao Ming. Homage to Master Sakya Zhengkong. Homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa. And homage to Master Tupten Dorji. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. And homage to the main deity of the group practice today, Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva. Sumo, Tanchen Katso, all Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma lecturers, Dharma assistants, directors of temples and chapters, and all disciples present here and over the internet. And our participating VIPs today are Accountant to True Buddha Foundation, Dharma Sister Teresa, and the president of the Da Hong publisher from France, Dharma Sister Sandrine, and from California, Dharma brother Gao Ming Lu and his wife. Today we practice Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva as the main deity. And the VIPs tonight, there were three groups. Let's now talk about Dharma Sister Teresa. Sis has been the accountant. She's been doing accounting work inside True Buddha School. And it's unpaid volunteering work. And her domicile is not in Seattle. It's in California. Right? She lives in California and she flew here every week. And her accounting work is the best. It's error-free. She was working at an accounting firm before. And she audits taxes. And almost all of True Buddha School groups, including Vancouver, Chicago, Taiwan, many organizations have asked her to help with their accounting. And she does it without complaint, and she flew everywhere from California here and to all other places to find the errors in the accountings of many of these True Buddha School chapters or group. So that's why I often refer to her as the big manager of True Buddha School. Just her spirit of accounting is quite incredible already. and no salary. And she's also one of the director of Shen Lu Foundation. Or also she's handling all the accounting of Shen Lu Foundation and also Rainbow Temple, the Seattle Lizang Temple, and others, and Trubida Foundation with no salary. Unpaid. So that's the spirit of Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva. So she has this vow to do it. And today we also saw the president of the Da Hong publisher from France, Dharma Sister Sandrine. All the French translation of Grandmaster's books, so the translation from Chinese to French, was done by herself, by her alone. She translates and publishes. So she publishes this French translation and then give it to all the libraries in France, also university libraries. So she translates and edits and proofreads and publishes and then distributes and markets. It was all done by her, one person, by herself. Okay, I know. I will say it later. Not now. Just one person. In the past, there was a chapter in France, but no need to say. It was all done by herself. So that's quite incredible already. So in order to publish a book, you have to translate first, and then you have to edit, and to review, to proofread, and to design the cover, and then to publish it, and then to distribute it. It's still done by her. So that it's widespread in France, and that people seeing the books and contacted her, and she also put an ad for free sometimes. So some people help market for free, and she herself also did a lot of marketing. So just one person for the whole of France. And now she's building a chapter by herself too. Her own land, her own money. Did you do fundraising? No. So she is establishing it by herself. How big is it?
448平方公尺啊，478平方公尺。
478 meters square. Square meters. Square meters.
差不多比起来是多少？
So compared to the temple here,
小一点点，比西雅图
smaller.
是小一点点而已。
Just slightly smaller, and was completely handled by herself without any donations.
他出版书也是他一个人做，也没有人家赞助的。
So she publishes the books also through her own funds and effort without donations from people. But sometimes people make donations and she made that as an offering. And then all by herself she built that chapter. So that's the spirit of Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva. So we have this modern day Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva. So the vows that he made, like our Dharma sister Teresa, she also did the accounting of the whole Tribhuda school. Nobody is helping her either. She did it all by herself. She does it all by herself. And the same thing with the Sondrin farm. All by herself, without help. By the blessings of Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva. So they have the spirits of Siddhigarbha, that which is great vows made, that they definitely want to spread the True Buddha Tantric Dharma or True Buddha school. And Dharma brother Gao Ming Lu and wife Mr. and Mrs. They are also True Buddha school practitioners. In the past, when I talk about Dharma brother Gao Ming Lu, he practiced until he could attain that he saw a round light drop and to hold the light drop. And he said that the light of the light drop was like a ping pong ball, and it could generate the great bliss. So he could truly experience great bliss by practicing the chi channels and light drops. And after experiencing the great bliss and knowing that the intrinsic nature of the great bliss is emptiness, he experienced the great bliss for a long period of time, for over 20 hours. So he could be in great bliss for over 20 hours. So only this is called the great bliss. And the bliss among ordinary beings are just small bliss, only for a few seconds or a few short minutes. But for him, it was over 20 hours. It's due to the light drops circulating and moving that generated the great bliss. And it was for over 20 hours. So that was the proof. You know, when I was talking about it, and you would say, yeah, of course, it's about it's Grandmaster, but let's not talk about Grandmaster. We can say like Dharma Brother Gao Minglu. He is a real practitioner, and he has real experiences. And he had the vision of Grandmaster that was as tall as two floors of a building. And he could see that very clearly, even including the bag. And how long was the vision? Grandmaster appeared to him for him to see, and he saw the image for 3 to 5 minutes. It was very vivid and clear, including the bags even. I was as tall as like 2 floors of a building. If I'm like that, I would be a giant. But he could see that. He could see it. That's due to his real practices. And that's so in real practices, in order to generate bliss, to be able to see your lineage root guru, is the same with Guru Padmasambhava. So, although he was born when Sakyamuni Buddha entered into parinirvana, he also said that the Dharma practice that he attained was undying yoga or undying rainbow light. Whenever you invoke him, you would be able to see him if you have the divine eye. He would appear right in front of you. So that's called the undying or unceasing yoga. Many practitioners said that Sakyamuni Buddha has died for 2500 or 2600 years, or died 2600 years ago, but you cannot say that, because for the Buddha, they are unborn and unceasing. They can appear right in front of you anytime. Whenever you pray with all your heart, or if you attain the divine eye, or the Buddha eye, or the highest wisdom eye, then you would be aware of their existence, and they could even teach you how to practice the Dharma. When Marba went to India for the 3rd time to meet with his guru Naropa, Naropa had entered into nirvana, but all the same he could manifest himself so that Marba could see him. So that showed that a Siddha or Mahasiddha, someone with the attainments, can appear for their disciples or anyone. not only in the dreams, like what Gao Minglu saw, saw it with his 2 eyes, with his physical eyes, not in the dreams. Well, of course, I can have dreams, like when someone asks, so how much money do you earn in a month? Well, I earn 100,000 a month, US dollars. But what do you do? Oh, I dream. So you dream that you earn 100,000 US dollars a month. That's a lot of money, right? So it's not in a dream. So he saw it personally with his own eyes. So Dharma brother Gao Minglu is a real practitioner. And the Dharma sister, she's a librarian. She's a librarian at the UC Berkeley Library. And she was the manager of the libraries. And she studied it in school as well. And she followed her husband. This Dharma sister Gao once helped the Taiwan temple to manage all the libraries. To the Venerable Lian Qi to manage all the books at the library at the Taiwan temple. So Taiwan temple was setting up a library, and it was designed by the Dharma sister, and it was executed by Lian Qi. Is it done? No, not yet. There are thousands of books, so it's still in progress. But when Lian Qi comes to the United States, so now who's doing it? There are two venerables are doing it now. So this Dharma sister is very very willing to help. So did the Taiwan temple give you any reimbursement or salary? No. She flew to Taiwan temple to guide the Venerable Lian Qi to the library. He even donated over 100,000 NT dollars, not US dollars, NT dollars, to help with the library. So this is the spirit of Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva. So we don't have to talk about anything else. We just talk about these 3 VIPs. Dharma Sister Teresa, Dharma Sister Sondrin Fong, and Dharma Sister Sun, and Dharma Brother Gao Minglu. They are Siddhigarbha Bodhisattvas. There's no need to find the intangible Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva who's right behind me, but they are the tangible Siddhigarbha Bodhisattvas in the Saha world, in our True Buddha school. And they have the Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva spirits, and they have made great vows. It's this kind of people that make True Buddha school flourish and prosper. So they have these vows, and they made the vows, and they do it for sentient beings, not for themselves. Like Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva, he could have become a Buddha, but the vow that he made is that he would not become a Buddha if the hell has not been emptied. So that's a great spirit. That's why we refer to him as the Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva, the savior of the netherworld, with the greatest vows. So he has the greatest vows. Of the 8 great bodhisattvas, the one with the greatest wisdom is Manjushri Bodhisattva. With the greatest compassion, Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. With the greatest vows, Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva. He's made the great vow, and he does it for the sake of sentient beings, not for himself. Only then you would be called a bodhisattva. If you think for yourself more and less for other beings, that's also called a bodhisattva. And we would call it the selfish bodhisattva. So what kind of bodhisattva could that be? But we can still call them a bodhisattva. The selfish and self-serving bodhisattva. That's the difference. So even in the human world, there are Siddhigarbha bodhisattvas. And once they accomplish their vows, in the human world, they have made their aspirations and their vows, and when they have attainments, they would become Siddhigarbha bodhisattvas. There's a foreigner that got to China and always bitten by the mosquitoes. And he was kind of resentful because the mosquitoes always bit him, but not the wife. And then so the wife told him that, hey, the mosquitoes in China love Western food. In China, there's this filial piety, and because there are lots of mosquitoes at the house, so in order to be filial to his parents, he took off his clothes to let the mosquitoes eat to their fills. That's really all you can eat, to let the mosquitoes stung him. And when the mosquitoes are all full, then they will not sting on their parents. So you cannot learn to do that, but this kind of filial piety is like you have made the vow that I want to be filial to my father and mother, and I hope that the mosquitoes will not bite my parents. So that's also the great spirit, just like Siddhikarma Bodhisattva. So filial piety in China is not quite common in the West. There are 24 ways to be filial to your parents. It's called the 24 filial piety. And that's a really wonderful virtues. Their spirits are the same as Siddhikarma Bodhisattva. Now let's continue expounding on Lamdre. The first one, the 5 nectars to give rise to meditation or not. In the verse, depending on the food, dignity, vital energy, light drops, and mudra mother. So what is this nectar? Okay, let me explain first. What is the nectar or amrita? Anything beneficial to the practitioner. I'm not talking about the nectar water inside the nectar vase, like the nectar that's being held by the medicine Buddha, the longevity nectar vase, or Ragaraja, Aizen. There's a lotus that blooms from the nectar vase. So there's also the nectar there. There are many bodhisattvas that has nectar. And the nectar is not necessarily water, but anything beneficial to the practitioners is called nectar or amrita or ambrosia. That's the meaning. Not just water or nectar water. Sometimes it is mentally or other things. They are called nectars. Food is a nectar too. Dignity is also nectar. So, for the Sangha members, the monastic people, whatever they do, they walk, they sit, and they lie down, they would have a certain presence or manner. So the vital energy, the light drops, and all the secretions in your body are considered nectars. And mudra mother. Simply said, it's your partner or your consort. So the consort of the yogi, the mudra mother, is also a nectar. If you want to have attainment, you can be helped by the mudra mother. And the mudra mother will also get the nectar from you, and you get the nectar from the mudra mother. That's the fifth kind. So it's mutual. So mudra mother is consort. It's a different term, and the consort is also a nectar. So the first one, food adds the nectar. So the food to be avoided, it's the spicy, the overly spicy. We have a restaurant here, a Sichuan hot pot. That was, in the past it was Haoyuan restaurant, and now it's called the Liu Yisuo hot pot. The Sichuanese people from Sichuan love hot spicy food, and also Southeast Asian people love hot chili peppers, spices. So as a spiritual cultivators, it's best if you don't eat food that's too spicy. Jaden and Andy, we went to the hot pot restaurant and we got some hot pot, which is like a little bit of spicy, a little bit spicy. But Lu Hong, Jaden, loves some spicy food. And Andy also calls the slightly spicy hot pot. But they couldn't eat it. It's just too spicy. Even the slight spicy is already so spicy, especially if it's spicy, that would be beyond. Have you eaten there? Anyone? Is it hot? Is it spicy? Slight spice. It's okay. But the two of them couldn't even take the slight spicy hot pot. So best not to eat too spicy or the overly salty. Taiwanese loves to eat salted fish. That's no good. Salt is bad for the kidneys. If your kidneys are bad, how can you practice? Mountain garlic. So garlic is also spicy. And strong alcohol. Alcohol is too strong. Sour wine or rotten meat? No. Or the fishy fish. Or spoiled vegetables. When the vegetables have gone bad or sour, you cannot eat any of this food. So you should avoid overly spicy, overly salty, and we should add overly sweet food. So sweets can harm the heart. And also pancreas, that you will not be able to produce any more insulin. then you would become diabetes because you eat too much sweet. The blood sugar has gone over and the insulin cannot be produced anymore. So too salty, too sweet, too spicy, strong alcohol, sour wine, rotten meat, the fishy fish, spoiled vegetables, all cannot be eaten. We have this common knowledge, right? I went to Cambodia and I saw them eat the fish that was freshly caught, and then they just make it rotten and ferment it and then eat that fish in Cambodia. Anyone from Cambodia? Where is my brother Henry? Where is he? So the fish that they eat in Cambodia, is that rotten? You don't eat the freshly caught fish, but they eat the rotten fish. They just put it there until it rots. That's no good. Have you eaten it? In the past, but not now. He's from Cambodia. So they eat rotten fish. That's so strange. Why? They like the rotten stuff? So you cannot eat this kind of food. And the food to be taken is the so-called refined nectar water. How do you pronounce this word? The sprouts of white garlic, which is not tangy. Growing vegetables and plants, porridge, thin watery porridge, noodle soup, refined medicinal or herbal oils and paste to be taken as food in order to let the blood vessels not floating. So what you should eat is the nectar water, the sprouts of white garlic that is not tangy, and growing vegetables and plants, thin porridge, soup, noodle, or refined herbal oils and paste. So some medicinal or herbal. So we can say it's like vitamins or supplements that's needed nowadays. For nowadays, it's like supplements that's needed. So your blood and blood vessels will not float and appear on the surface, then it will generate the best kind of meditation. That's what it meant. These are stuff from the ancient time, from the time of Virupa in India. He wrote this. Also, place a Tibetan fruit called Terminalia cebula soaked in dairy, which is referred as the formula of simmering in milk. Prepare a liter of butter, 3 liters of milk, 3.125 grams of water. Mix well and saute until the water evaporates. And then when the milk has also evaporated and smoke is fuming, put it into a clean container. Take a mouthful when hungry. After 1 year, the veins will not float anymore. We talk about like varicose veins. So that is when the blood vessels are floating and appearing. So these are the methods in the ancient time. So it teaches you how to make it from the dairy products and etc. I never had it, of course. Then there's also the 3 fruits recipe. 2/3 of the Tibetan fruit, Terminalia cebula, 1/3 of Fructus terminale biliricae, or bibita in Sanskrit, and a little bit of Indian gooseberries. Grind them finely, mix in sugar and grind again, or add honey and make pills. Take it every morning for 1 year, and the veins will not show anymore or float. So it's impossible for us to have those stuff. Also for the honeyed poops. Poo. That's the big fragrance, and the small fragrance is pea. So they see the practitioners, the sadhaka, can even eat poops and pea. Okay, let's check how to do it. After following the above food prescription, obtain your own poop. When you have refrained from eating the crude food, so you eat your own poop. After you don't eat the stuff that's forbidden, like mentioned above. So your own poop, and place it on a clean stone mortar. That thing is dirty, but it should be placed on a clean stone mortar and spread it around using a wooden piece to spread it flat and air dry it away from the sun. Separately, add a little water to pure honey and butter. So honey and butter, and mix it well. Add a little water and saute the mixture until the water has evaporated. And then add in the ground dried poop and mix well. This is Cantonese. The 法师 The Dharma teacher eats poop and drink pee.
变成粉末，两则搅拌。
So the ground dried poop add to the mixture, mix well, and make pills the size of a goat's poop. Take the first one at dawn on the first day of a lunar month, and take 2 pills on the second day, and 3 pills on the third day, and every morning continue to increase by 1 pill until the 15th day. Then, on the next day, in the daytime, decrease by 1 pill until there is only 1 pill left. So you eat until the 15th day, and then you start to decrease. By doing this for 1 year, you have to eat poop for 1 year. Then you will be able to succeed in suppressing the veins from surfacing. You know, and you will not feel hungry by doing this. You know, in the ancient time in China, there is the pills made of like grains, and you just eat 1 pill and you don't feel hungry and you still energetic. So now you can eat this poop pill, and then you would succeed in the practice. All of the above practices are a service to practicing bodhicitta. It is the best kind of nectar. It is from the ancient time, and you can try it using this method if you like. You know, the technology is very progressive nowadays, but really, people do eat poops. Like elderly like this, you're already in the 80s or 90s, and your intestines have gone bad, and your stomach and digestive systems have gradually aged. They have been used for so long. So the stomach and the intestines are not healthy anymore. How can you cure it so that it become rejuvenated like young people? You have to eat like you find a very healthy and strong man that has very healthy digestive systems, very healthy intestines and stomach, a very healthy man who excretes the stool which contains the bacteria from his colons, and then you eat his poop. Then your intestines and stomach would receive the bacteria from that healthy young man. Then your digestive systems would become really healthy. This is the latest medical technology. You know, because when you're old, what can you do? There's less bowel movement. So you have to find a young, a very healthy man. They eat and poop well. And if you eat his poop for 6 months, then your digestive system would be rejuvenated to become as young younger and younger, that as you age, you have to go to the bathroom a lot, and young men doesn't have to. So if you eat the healthy stool, healthy poop, then it's the same as you're trying to get the nutrients from it. I've heard of this method. I've never tried it myself. It's true. So in the future, maybe poop eating is a very important medical discovery. Poop eating and pee drinking. In China, there's also called the dragon returning water. So it's the pee of a young kid, not the beginning or the ending part. When he pees in the beginning, don't get it, but then you just get the middle part. And when he's about to stop, you don't want that part too. So you just want the middle part. And in the medicinal name for it is the dragon returning water. It's a boy. It has to be from a boy, not from a girl. You can try it. Drink the pee. Drink pee. Then you would become healthy. Then you start to create and develop. It's beneficial. No wonder the poop of a Mahasiddha or a Siddha, which is the practitioner with attainments, is very important. So that's why he said that is nectar. This is written by Nirupa, not me. So what he wrote here is real. Let me tell you one thing which Guru Padmasambhava told me. What is the best nectar? Guru Padmasambhava told me it's the air. The best kind of nectar is the air. So if you know how to practice the qi or vital energy, that's the best kind of food, the best kind of nectar. It's air. Of course, you cannot do it in Taiwan, the place where there's lots of PM 2.5. And if you breathe in too much of it, you will die. You would get lung cancers. But the air in Seattle, that's called nectar. So if you breathe in more every day, you just breathe in deeply every day, then you're drinking the nectar. And Guru Padmasambhava also said, what is the best kind of clothes? The inner fire is the best kind of clothes. If you have generated your inner fire, that's the best clothes. The food is the air. Fresh, clean air to enter into your body. That's the best kind of nectar. And the best clothes is the inner fire that you generate through spiritual cultivation. So even in the snowy days, you can take off all your clothes and meditate on the snow. So that's the best clothes. The best kind of clothes is no clothes, but you have inner fire inside your body. That's the best kind of clothes. That's what Guru Padmasambhava said. I didn't say those. The best kind of diet or food is the air. The best kind of clothes is the inner fire or tumo. What time is it?
9:50。我已经讲了50分钟以上。
I have spoken more than 50 minutes for an hour.
跟一个美女店员杀价，杀了。
I was bargaining with the beautiful sales girl. So Mr. Zhang was buying a new cell phone and bargained with the beautiful sales girl for a long time, but didn't succeed. So finally he gave up. But before he left, he asked her, "So I'm buying a cell phone from you, and you didn't cut the price, so you should at least give me something." And then the sales girl said, "Okay, I'll give you the door. I give you way to the door." This beautiful lady is too. Yes. To let him out the door. A beautiful girl told the great master, "Oh, great master, the world is in such a chaos now. As a weak woman, how can I protect myself?" So the great master took a water gun and squirted to her face, and the lady said, "So are you trying to indicate that I have to keep my cool like the water and not think too much?" And then the great master said, "No. If you just take off your cosmetics and wash your face, then you would be safe. Take off your fake eyelashes and take off the rouge like the butts of the monkeys. Take off all the powder and the lipsticks, and you would be quite scary. They are no danger to you at all." A young man asked the great master, "Where is my future?" And the great master replied, "Just close your eyes." And the young man replied, "Well, I think I understand. Are you trying to hint at me that when I'm confused, I should, as soon as I close my eyes and think of it, then there would be a direction?" And the great masters replied, "No, your future is completely dark." So, jokes are also a kind of nectar. We shouldn't stern our face like a poker face always. We should just be happy and every day. You know, the leader said that this can kill the cancer cells. We just laugh every day, then you will not get cancer and no depression. Don't always think of those bad things happening. Just think of the good stuff. A man asked the great master, Master, why am I so lonely and alone? I'm trying to find a companion, but I cannot. And I'm still single until now. So the man told the master, I keep looking for a partner, but... And the master was look at him because he's very heavy, because you're ugly and you still ridicule other people are ugly too. Of course, then you're single. It's a very simple logic, right? Every time people ask for marriage in consultation, when I see their face has no romances, possible romances, of course they cannot find a partner. But if I see that they still have romantic prospect on their face, then it would be easy for them to make friends. The same for man or woman. As long as they still have that sign, the romantic sign on their face, it's easy for them to find companies. But when they turn their face around and they look like an old lady and she's still looking for a companion, oh no. And then even when I consulted, oh no, they have no more prospect, and it's like the flame is about to die. How could they find a partner? So if you ask for marriage prospect, I can tell by looking at your face. Okay, the last joke, which is not very funny. I'm not afraid of my wife. It's my wife that's not afraid of me. So, when you are laughing, that's an actor. I just laugh.